Yeah. Welcome back, y'all. You already know what it is. We back in the building, man, for another edition of Heart of the City, where we go and talk about all New York City area sports. I'm here today with my co-host, Coach Ed Gladney, and my main man, Big Bro Lou, man, from the Big Blue Crew, man. You know what I'm saying? What it is, man. How y'all doing tonight?
What's going on, fellas?
What's up? Doing well. How's everyone else doing?
Man, maintain it. You already know.
Getting ready for football to start. Getting ready for this Big Blue Crew block party. Excited about the boxing this week. Just everything, man. Sports is back.
Yup. Back in full effect, man. Glad to have y'all here. You know what I'm saying? But most definitely, man, we're gonna touch on the Crawford Spence fight. You know what I'm saying? We also gonna touch on New York Giants training camp, man. Pads came on today. You know, things getting physical now. Now we got some real football to talk about. We're gonna touch a little bit on the Jets as well, too. You know, they got drama over there in Jetland. You know what I'm saying, with Aaron Rodgers and Sean Payton, back and forth with the yippity yap.
I'm sorry. I hate to interrupt. I know this is your show. I don't want to be rude.
Go ahead.
But Aaron Rodgers don't need to be opening his mouth telling Sean Payton to keep anybody's name out his mouth. Because as old as Sean Payton is right now, if they was to fight, my money's on Sean Payton.
Sorry, I disagree. I have issues with Sean Payton because you don't call out another coach. That's your fraternity. That's where I have issues. So, and I appreciate a player stepping up for his coach and telling a coach, "Yo, keep my coach's name out your mouth."
Yeah, but this is the same player who threw his former coach under the bus at a podium.
I get it. I understand.
So you're the last person to come up to somebody's defense when you've been the main one out here at the podium throwing coaches and teammates under the bus. You're the last person to say something. That's where I'm coming from. I understand where you're coming from because as a coach, you know, that's that brotherly fraternity, like another player is supposed to hold another player down. So I understand where you're coming from. But Aaron Rodgers, the last person that need to be trying to rectify that with as many people he done threw under the bus at the podium. You feel me?
That's fair. I just have issues with that, and I guess that's
I definitely.
Yeah, I just and if it wasn't Aaron Rodgers, and let's just say it was one of the other players, you know, I don't think we would have a problem. We would say, "Oh, yo, that the player stepping up to protect their coach." So, you know, but you know what you're saying about Rodgers, okay, that's fair. I respect that.
If it was any other Jets player, I'd be like, "Oh shit."
Exactly.
Broncos game.
Sean Payton.
You know what I'm saying?
Sean Payton, though. Sean Payton
King of the bounty.
You know what I'm saying? Sean Payton started it though, man, by calling out
he did.
ex-coach for the Broncos, Nathaniel Hackett.
But
now
see, I'm the type of dude that if I F's with you, I F's with you. I don't care if you're in the wrong. If we came together, we leaving together. We go beat these dudes up. And on the ride home, I'm gonna be like, "Yo, you know you started that shit, right? You know you was wrong." But in the moment, I'm not gonna reprimand you. We gonna handle this. Then I'm gonna be like, "Yo, son, you know that." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm always gonna ride with him over Aaron Rodgers anyway, old soft ass.
Yeah. But we're gonna get into that baseball trade deadline. The Yankees do absolutely nothing because they suck. And the Mets got rid of everybody. Pretty much. That's how I feel. I'm very this team is is a team that's getting on my nerves right now. You could hear it in my voice. Like, I don't know what these dudes are doing. You know what I'm saying? But they ain't doing much. You know what I'm saying? At least the Mets realize, hey, look, we ain't going nowhere. Let's sell off. You know what I'm saying? The Yankees just sitting there like, all right. You know, like
they did nothing because they suck.
They do, man. They in last place, man. Like, come on now. How the hell? But what's up to the chat, man? Shout out to Nisi Wise, wifey. What's good? Peace to everybody.
Peace.
No Mets said, let's just skip to fucking past the Yankees. Yeah,
you might want to add no Yankees to that title then. No Yanks, no Mets, no Nets.
Yeah. What up? What's good? E? What up, man? What's good, E, man? Appreciate you, bro. Yeah. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah, man. E from the Twitter Spaces, man.
No,
shout out to you,
cool
man.
Arrow, not the Arrow that need medical attention right now.
And that would be Mr. Earl Spence. So let's go ahead and set the show off, man. Let's do something a little different, man. Since we got my man G Nation, who does Leather to the Face, awesome show Saturday nights. Make sure you check that out for real. G Nation Inside Sports. Go sub to my man Lou. Links are in the description, man. But we had a good time, man, watching somebody didn't have a good time, and that was Mr. Spence, because he got worked. I mean, worked. And this topic is related to New York because, as I was just informed by my man G Nation, Earl Spence is from the city. So, yo,
for some reason, but
I'm kind of mad you told me that, because that's an embarrassment, man.
Nah, but I mean,
you got work.
Okay, all jokes aside, right? I love boxing. Like I grew up boxing, you know what I mean? I grew up a fan of boxing. I grew up boxing as well. I've always loved the sport of boxing. I've just recently started getting into UFC because I felt like when UFC first came out, it was going to be the death of boxing. But boxing is still holding on. And but all jokes aside, man, as a fan of boxing and as a man and a father, I want to take a moment for the people who are laughing and yes, the man took a butt whooping. You know what I'm saying? Nobody can disagree with that. Yes, the man did a lot of trash talking before the fight, so a lot of people might feel like it's warranted what he got. But his coaches and his training staff should have thrown that towel in by round 5.
Absolutely.
They allowed that man to take so much punishment that when the fight was over, his speech pattern was completely different from before the fight. I've watched this before in a fight from the 80s, early 90s, Meldrick Taylor and Julio Cesar Chavez. After that fight, Meldrick Taylor was never the same. And the fact that his coaching, his team, his promotion team are allowing him to activate his rematch clause and trying to put it in December. I watched the article. I watched the Stephen A. Smith and Tony Atlas have a conversation about the fight. Not Tony Atlas, Teddy Atlas. Jesus Christ. Have a conversation about the fight. And Teddy Atlas brought up a good point. He said, based on all the punishment that man took in them 9 rounds, he shouldn't fight for at least a year.
Yeah.
And he took it as far as to say not just fight. He shouldn't spar. He shouldn't take any shots to his head for at least a year, not even with headgear on. Let's not forget this man has been in 2 wrecks. Had the wreck broke his jaw and his bottom teeth are gone. He has a dent. And he has neurological damage and a detached retina. This man don't need to be in the ring no more.
Yeah.
The hell with your pride. You made 25 mil in this fight. You made some more money before this fight. You don't need to fight no more. And if his team has any love for him, any concern for him, any care for him, they will not allow him to take this fight and activate this rematch in December. That will be that. He will never come back from that. If he survives the fight and actually doesn't pass away in the ring, God forbid, he will never be the same. And I need for fight fans to understand that there's a human element to this. That man got beat from pillar to post for 9 rounds. He never stood a chance in that fight. And the people on his corner should not allow him to step back in that ring anytime soon at all. And definitely not against Terrence Bud Crawford.
No, he don't. Right. Definitely not against Crawford. And for real, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, why are they letting this fight continue? You know, it shouldn't have went past the 5th, 6th round, maybe. I mean, I give it to Spence. He was still fighting or trying to fight, but he was just not coherent. You could see he was all, he was not in his right state of mind, man. And the brain is something not to mess with, you know. So you got to be careful with that, man. And I agree, man. I agree with you, and I agree with Mets here, man. That dude need to retire. Like, just give it up. You made your money. You know, you could walk away with your health, with your sanity. You know what I'm saying, man, and move on in life, man, and go do something else, man, because you can't fight forever anyway. At some point, you're gonna have to let it go. You know, you're gonna have to give up what you love, and it's hard for a lot of athletes to do, man. But that was something serious, man. That was something serious right there.
Straight headshot after headshot after headshot, and it's not like when I say headshot, I'm not talking about here. He was getting hit temple, and he was getting hit so hard that his ear was touching his shoulder. Like, bam.
What up, Next Shift? What's good?
Yo, man, your brain is not designed for that type of punishment, bro. And I mean, man, Crawford was on one, man. He was focused, laser focused. He was locked in, and he was tearing that boy's head off, man.
Yeah, he says Taylor had a bleed on the brain that slowed his cognitive skills. Yeah. But while you here, Lou, why don't you plug us into some of the upcoming boxes, man, in New York, in the city, in the area?
Oh man. I just can't start rattling off names that are from New York. There's I think Shakur Stevens is from the Jersey, New York area. I think Jerron Boots Ennis is another one. I think he's from Brooklyn. You got Edgar Berlanga, who's also from Brooklyn, Puerto Rican fighter. There's a few young upcoming fighters out there in the Northeast area. But as far as fights coming up, you got Nate Diaz versus Logan Paul, the 5th this weekend.
That's gonna be a good one, yeah.
Then
Definitely.
you got Jermell Charlo versus Canelo Alvarez for undisputed at middleweight. That'll be September 30th. And
most definitely.
Let me see. There's another fight coming up. I want to say it's what's that kid's name? The Russian guy who lost to Teofimo. Lomachenko. Lomachenko is supposed to be having another fight coming up. Man, you put me on the spot. I know
that's all right.
Thinking about it.
We'll get back to that, man. You know what I'm saying? But definitely go check out my man G Nation Inside Sports Saturday nights, leather to the face, dope show. You know what I'm saying? You learn about boxing, you have fun, get to kick it with the fellas, man. You know what I'm saying? We chill, laugh, cut up, man, have fun, man. But definitely, man, go check that out, man. For sure, man. But now let's get into a little bit of training camp. New York Giants right now. So, you know, I know we love talking about our Giants.
Coach, I noticed the one he had.
we still counting Teofimo.
I don't know. I think Teofimo has the tools to be a good fighter. I think he's got to get rid of his father as his trainer. And I know that sounds jacked up, but that fight that he lost to Kambosos, his father was in his corner giving him the worst damn coaching information in the corner I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
Just go out there and whoop his ass. I'm like, I could have did that. Like, what kind of coaching are you giving the man? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Go in there. This is what you do. You go in there and you hit him. You keep hitting him. You keep hitting him until he falls.
As the corner man, you're supposed to be watching for any mistakes, any weaknesses, any opportunities. And when your man comes in and you're getting him ready for the next round, you're supposed to tell him what you see, what to do to capitalize on this that he's doing, what to do here, what to move away from, how to counter this. You don't let him come in the corner and say, "What are you doing? Go out there whoop his ass."
Oh shit.
Oh my God, this dude trash, man.
But yeah, let's get into Giants training camp. So Paz came on today, you know what I'm saying? And we got to see some physicality, you know what I'm saying? Some one-on-ones, man, the O-line, D-line one-on-ones. You know, a lot of talk was about Dexter Lawrence versus our second-round pick, John Michael Smith. As you would imagine, Dex won those reps versus the rookie. But it's good to see that, you know, our O-line is going up against perhaps one of the best defensive lines in the NFL. You know, when you're looking at Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams, Azeez Ojulari, Kayvon Thibodeau, so on and so forth. So they got some good work in. Evan Neal, by reports, looked okay. Won some, lost some. Smits, like I said, he's a rookie, you know, going against probably one of the best, if not the best defensive tackle in the league. And Andrew Thomas is Andrew Thomas. You know what I'm saying? He ain't losing no reps. So that's pretty much what we were looking for. With the pass coming on, the physicality now. Other notes, let's put in the chat too. Trey Hawkins, man, this Trey Hawkins kid is definitely getting a lot of buzz right now. He's going up against the ones right now, and he's holding his own. He's holding his own. A couple pass breakups today, so definitely good to see. You know, our 6th-round pick. You know, rolling with the ones, rolling with the starters, and this could be the steal of the draft. You know, yeah. If he comes in and he can take the slot spot from you know, freaking Darnay freaking Holmes, who I don't know why he's still on the team, but it is what it is. But if he can come in and take this right, and Darnay Holmes isn't looking good, Flott's not looking great either.
Yeah, so
defense had a better day today. Defense had a better day today, but you know, for the most part, yeah, Trey Hawkins, man, you know what I'm saying? He could play on the outside, no Mets. But hey, look, they even talking about sliding Adoree into the slot. So you know what I'm saying? You'll have 2 rookies, Banks and then Hawkins on the outsides.
That we've had rookies come in, have a bad year, and have the starting job, lose the starting job, work their way back onto the field, and then in the playoffs, clutch plays that won us games. Corey Webster, you know what I mean? So like we got the Giants have a history of finding diamonds in the rough, man. Undrafted 6th and 7th round picks as well that come through and shine when it's needed. And you know, something that I've noticed in this offseason alone, Parcells has been here, Strahan has been here, Eli's been here, Coughlin's been here, Lawrence Taylor's been here, Carl Banks has been here. you got a lot of the old school greats coming around, and they're all saying the same thing. This year feels different. This year, I think we got something. This year, you know what I'm saying? I've been saying it the whole time. 11-6 is the floor.
11-6.
It's the floor this year. It might be with Coach 14-3, 15-2, some shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
E says, I love that for John Michael Smith. He's 25 years old, but he gets to see what power, speed, and athleticism is at the next level. Absolutely, E, because John Michael Smith is going against the best. So to be the best, you got to what? Beat the best. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we talk about. So definitely, man, we love to see that, man. We love that for John Michael Smith, man. And Evan Neal. You know, Evan Neal reportedly looked a little bit better in camp, man. But you got to let these kids grow. You got to give them time to gel. Offensive line is the one unit in football that plays as one pretty much. You know, all five guys got to be on the same page. And it's going to take our young players some time, you know, especially JMS. Met says he's going to play on the outside. Yeah, Hawkins could play on the outside. Like I said, he could. But do you think he's going to take Banks' spot? That's the thing. And how would fans feel about that? How would we feel about that if our 6th round pick starts over our 1st round pick? You know, because we got to think now. They moved up to get Deonte Banks, you know, and I'm willing to be patient with the kid personally, but we know how fans is. We know how Twitter is, Facebook, all these social media, you know, ESPN, all that crap. You know, we know how they overblow shit, you know. So basically, how would we feel about that? Coach, you there? I think Coach had to step away. I think Coach had to step away for a minute. So, Lou, you can go ahead and answer that for us. How would you feel if we got Miz in here? What's good, Miz? Something special going on with this team. Players are making others better. Yeah, Hyatt does look good as well. But let's stay with Trey Hawkins for a minute. How would you feel if Hawkins started over Deonte Banks?
Hey, listen, if he wins the spot, he wins the spot. I'm one of them guys who I don't care where you were drafted at. If the guy who was drafted 7th outplays you and you were drafted 2nd, it's a no-brainer for me. I don't give a damn where you was drafted at. Whoever gives me the better chance to win is the guy I'm going with. If you think I'm wrong, play better and beat him for your job.
True that.
You know what I'm saying?
True that,
Prove me wrong. Treat me like I'm from Missouri. Show me. You know what I'm saying?
But that's and think about it. What if it just takes Banks a little bit longer to learn the game?
Yeah, some people have a longer learning curve. You know what I'm saying?
And so you could be looking down the road because, look, we don't know if Adoree Jackson's will. At least I don't know if Adoree Jackson's going to be back next year. We will see how this thing plays out, man. But you could be looking at your future starting corners. You know, if they both end up panning out, it's happened before. You know what I'm saying? So,
because one could learn real quick and start shining, and then the other one could pick it up by week 9 and then outball, play better than the other one. It just took them a longer time to get a handle on it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, as long as they play well together and they help the New York Giants, I don't give a damn what order they do it in or how they figure it out. Just figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
Matt says the coaching staff ain't afraid to play over positions. Look at Kenny Golladay, and I think Banks will be just fine. Adoree in a slot. Yeah, they've been, you know, kind of mixing and matching them. I seen some reports where they did have Adoree Jackson in the slot. That won't be during the season, I don't think. But is just an option because, like Lou said, you want to get your best players out there, regardless of who they are, where they was drafted, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because we're trying to win games. The Giants are out of rebuild mode, in my opinion. We are entering contention mode. We are contending now. We are a contending team. So you want to put the best guys out there that can win you games regardless, man. I'm with you, man. You know, if Banks has to sit for a while, okay, man, maybe this is be like a little bit of a red shirt year for him. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he just takes time. Maybe he gets it in the middle of the season. It just clicks. You know what I'm saying? And he can just go out there, man, you know, and do his thing, man. But I'm definitely excited about this Trey Hawkins kid, man. I'm definitely excited to see that. What else have you been noticing in camp, Lou, that stood out to you, man? I know a lot of people have been talking about Hyatt, who has definitely impressed. Jalen Hyatt, you know, everybody yapped on his route running ability. Looks like he can run pretty good routes to me. So he's getting open. Paris Campbell's another one. This offense in general looks really, really good. This offense looks really, really good.
Everybody, even Shep got in there and got him a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited for this team. The only thing that worries me at the end of preseason when we got to start cutting guys, since we got so much competition and so much depth, we're gonna get rid of some good players.
Yeah, I think this is Adori's last year, Miz. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, more than likely, Miz.
Yeah, and they was not taking it easy on this kid either, the Hawkins Mets. You're right. They was throwing the kitchen sink at him. And today, particularly, what's up, Alex? What's good? Big Blue in the Bronx. Shout out to Big Blue in the Bronx, man, my man Alex. They was not taking it easy, man. Wink kind of opened it up a little bit today. There was a few sacks. Defense definitely got the better of the offense today. In particular, man, because like Lou just touched on, man, like we've been touching on all week, man, Big Blue Crew, man. Make sure you go check out Big Pat, Lou, myself, Coach Ed, Miz, Alex, Big Blue in the Bronx, man. You know, usually
Giants fan,
Mac the Giants fan.
3F with Joe, J-Lay,
J-Lay, G-Way with J-Lay. Go check us all out, man, because we
Adam
all
Costas,
been talking.
Ian Zenith, Hit Squad. Yeah, we deep, son.
No doubt.
We'll leave you black and blue when we done with you, son.
But people been saying it, man. You know, this offense could be top 10 this year. You know what I'm saying? No doubt about it, man. Darren Waller, man, like having a cat like Darren Waller just makes so much of a difference, man. Just a miss. Can't nobody cover this dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, and to me, that's what we needed, man, particularly, man, for Daniel Jones, man. You know, that number one target that he can go out there and rely on and say, okay, you know, I can get it to this dude, man, and he can make a play for me. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to, you know, having to thread the needle, you know, like last year, man, because guys were barely getting any separation. These guys are getting separation right now, let me tell you. Because Paris Campbell, Hyatt, my man Slayton, who everybody wrote off last year, he could have 1,000 yards this season. You know what I'm saying? And ain't nobody even really talking about it. They just kind of like dismissing this guy too, man. You know what I'm saying? With all these weapons, it opens up things for guys like Darius Slayton to have one-on-one matchups, man. And can't too many DBs keep up with the speed of a guy like Slayton or Hyatt or freaking Darren Waller. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, let me get to a couple comments. Telling everyone, Kayvon Tiz will have a monstrous year, 10 sacks. I agree, man. I agree with you, Miz.
More than that,
you know
Miz.
what I'm saying? I think
More than
you
that.
say more?
More than
How
that.
many you think? How many you think?
I think Kayvon ends up with 12.5, 12 and a half sacks. And I think Azeez Ojulari ends up with 9.5, 10 sacks. Between the two of them, they'll have 22 sacks. Which means if they have 22 sacks, Dex and Leo might not have as many, but they'll be shutting down the run. Because Aziz and Thibodeau will have set the edges, which means there's nowhere to go up the middle when you're running against Dexter and Leo. Or not even if you got Roches in there, Nacho Roches, if you got Robinson, Ashawn Robinson, PJ Davidson. You know what I mean? We added a lot of depth to this defensive line. This defensive front is very interchangeable, and everybody that steps in that rotation can be impactful. The last time we had a defense with that much depth at the defensive line, we won the Super Bowl. We had Pierre Paul, we had Tuck, we had Umenyiora, we had Kiwanuka. You know, so I mean, this team looks impressive right now, and even though it's all on paper. We knew what these guys looked like before we drafted them. Some of us predicted who we were going to draft, at least the first 2 picks. And so I'm excited for this team, man. I think we're going to shock a lot of people and a lot of people that counted us out.
What up, Shelton? What's good with you?
D-Dan.
Alex says D-line took a majority of wins. And my man Alex is at camp. So
yeah,
definitely go check out Big Blue in the Bronx, man. Out there, man. I think E.
Hey, is your brother coming with you?
My
Alex?
man E is out there too.
Is his brother coming with him?
His brother is coming. As far as I know, to the Big Blue Crew block party, man. Giants
and
Jets
Miz,
game.
Is Buko coming
October
with you,
29th.
Miz, is Buko coming with you to the Giants Jets game, the block party?
But he says majority of wins today, 1-on-1 versus O-line today. D-line, I mean, thought Bredesen and Thomas looked the best, but it's the first day in pass. Yeah, it is the first day, but Bredesen and Thomas, in my opinion, were the 2 best. Well, ain't no opinion, it's a fact. They were the 2 best linemen last year, so I would imagine they would be ahead of some of these other guys, man, some of the younger guys out there, man. And I'm interested to see how Mark Glowinski looked, because I know that was one of Coach's focuses on the line. Glowinski, chicken legs, as he calls them. So E says, I love what Banks is learning at this time. He's getting a master class, and he gets a chance to go up against every type of wide receiver in our practices. So he will absolutely be ready for whoever. I agree, man. I think Banks is going to be fine. I think it's just going to take him a little time. Now, remember, we have Jerome Henderson. And if you have talent, Jerome Henderson is going to get it out of you. You know what I'm saying? Even a smidget, you know what I'm saying? Because we was putting guys out there last year that probably shouldn't have been on NFL rosters, but yet, you know, they was holding up decently. You know, he's gotten the best years out of Adoree Jackson. You know, he turned James Bradbury into a Pro Bowler. Remember, before Bradbury came to the Giants, you know, he didn't have that kind of season, man. You know, now he's in the top 100 and all these other rankings and stuff like that. You know, that was Jerome Henderson that you know, Julian Love, he got the most out of Julian Love, got a big contract, you know, this offseason. So let's give it a little bit of time with Banks, and let's just see and be patient, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, we know Giants fans ain't patient shit. That's the thing I love the most. Daniel Jones looks so good, so hungry. I love it. Yeah. Let's talk about Daniel Jones. I know a lot of people don't like Daniel Jones, but let's be honest. Daniel Jones has not had this type of talent around him his entire career. This team is talented, you know, and a lot of people will try to knock our receivers because they're not the big names that people wanted, like DeAndre Hopkins and OBJ and so on and so forth, man. But I bet you these damn dudes get the job done. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, I don't need a big time superstar wide receiver. Just give me a bunch of dudes that can get open and catch passes. I mean, that's what we doing. What's in the name? It's just your name. That's it. You still got to go out there and play football. We seen Justin Jefferson, get shut down. We seen DeAndre Hopkins get shut down. Don't act like one guy can't get shut down. But when you have 5 of them and you don't know who to guard, now you cooking. See, I could focus on your one receiver. That's easy defense. You know what I'm saying? But if you have a bunch of different cats, man, that's gonna open things up, man.
Tribe real quick. I'm gonna mute myself because there's something going on.
You good, man? Shutting down the run in my eyes means going further in January. Absolutely, miss. We definitely got to shut down the run, and that's why they focused on the D line a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? And like Alice was saying, the D line is showing you in practice, man, that they ready, man. You know what I'm saying? They are ready to go. Dex, Leo, let's go, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget Ashawn Robinson. Exactly, man. You know what I mean? So definitely we got a lot of talent on the D-line, but let's talk a little bit about Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones looks confident. He looks confident. He's not hesitating like he was in past years. He's airing it out more down the field. You seeing a lot of deep shots down to Slayton, to Hyatt, to Paris Campbell, Waller, of course. So the disrespect that Daniel Jones gets in the media, they came out with another rankings. He's in tier 3 of according to these NFL insiders or whoever comes up with this bullshit. He's in tier 3 of the quarterback rankings at number 19. But it doesn't matter. All you got to do is go out there and show it on the football field, man. And dude looks focused. He looks crisp with his passes. And, I mean, I know it's just training camp, but we building. We building on what we did from last year to this year. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully it will take us in transition and take us further than we were. Sean says, definitely shutting down the run game. QB pass rush will be solid too. Now, the pass rush, I'm a little bit concerned about, man, but we have to be healthy in that department. And we definitely need a third pass rusher to emerge behind Kayvon Thibodeau and Azeez Ojulari. Is it O'Shane Ximines? I don't know about that. I don't think so.
Hell no.
Is it Simone Fox? Perhaps. Is it what's the other kid though? Where they cut him? Ellison Smith. He got cut. So definitely, I do want to see them kind of add another pass rusher. That's the one thing that I'm concerned about. But everything else, man, this team looks ready to go. To be honest with you, they look damn ready to go. I am there. Okay, bet, man. Hell yeah, man. Definitely, man. I would love for you to be there, man. You know what I'm saying? Come hang out with the crew, man. You know what I'm saying? Giants, Jets, October 29th. You know what I'm saying? Be there, be square. Big Blue Crew block party, hosted by your one and only for sports travel. Go Travels, man. For all your sport needs, all your sports travel needs, check out Go Travels. www.getouttravels.com, man. So check them out, man. Sponsoring the event along with Big Blue Crew Productions. So doing big things over here, man. Appreciate each and every one of y'all. Appreciate your support. Let's get back to it. Miz says,
yeah,
Buko,
probably what, Miz?
Adam.
What is he saying? Yeah, probably
Adam.
what too? Him. Oh, so you, Buko, and Adam, y'all coming together? Are y'all traveling together? I heard the Zulu look good and he continues to get first team reps. Listen, I think he's our guard, man.
I don't know, man. I'm not writing off Ben Bredesen. But what I would like to see is Bredesen basically be that backup center / guard, because Bredesen can play all three of those positions on the interior: guard, center, guard. You know, Bredesen has actually been in
floater.
Yeah, right. Or what if he takes Glowinski's spot and you put Azudu at left guard?
I don't like neither one of them. I don't like Bredesen or Glowinski. I want McKeithen to step up so we can get rid of them two hacks.
Well, McKeithen is still coming back from that injury. Yeah, so he's behind in his development right now because he didn't get no time. Azudu got time on the field last year, so he should be ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, he should be showing some improvement. You know what I mean? But McKeithen, he missed the entire season, so I don't have much expectation for him this season. Now, in the future, because I'm pretty sure Glowinski's not going to be here next year. So in the future, yeah, that would be dope if we could have McKeithen step in and take that right guard spot, and then you have Ben Bredesen be your backup. That would be the best case scenario, I think, for the Giants right now. Ordered my Dexter shirt yesterday. Gray shirt, blue numbers, blue decks. All right.
I just shut up my merch shop, Miz. I'll be launching it this Sunday coming up.
Okay, Alice is gonna come on in a few. Dope. Definitely, man. Want to get his take on the Giants. Alex is at training camp. You know what I'm saying, on the ground. Most definitely, man. So we could definitely hear it straight from the source. You know what I'm saying, and not no media pundit. Nor has he this level of coaching. Right. The coaching does matter, of course.
Definitely.
Coach will tell you that. You know what I'm saying? We've been saying it here. So that is elevating, man.
We seen the minute we got rid of Judge and Garrett and brought a coach in here with, we didn't even have a decent O-line, but just the fact that we had coaches, look at the difference in 1 year. Mm-hmm. So that proves everything about coaching matters. Every bit of that sentence is fact. And last year's turnaround in one season is proof of that. Mm-hmm. Because we basically ran last year with the majority of players from Judge and Garrett.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So the only thing that changed was the coaches and the playbook.
E says Daniel Jones having 2 security blankets and Waller and Barkley will elevate guys like Slayton and Hodges from day one. Hyatt and Kim will eat long term. Yeah, definitely, man. Waller's going to open up so much in the passing game, man. Just because teams got to deal with this dude. You know what I'm saying? It's not like last year where Slay was the number one. We all know, Slayton's not the number one. But with Waller on the field, he can be a great number 2. You know what I'm saying? I think Slayton can have 1,000 yards possibly. You know what I'm saying? Because, now eventually, you're going to get Hyatt in there, and Hyatt will be that go-to guy, I think, from the receiver standpoint once he gets coached up. But this is rookie season. I don't want to set that kind of expectation for the kid, man. But Slayton, definitely. Campbell, definitely. You know what I'm saying? And Hodgins, too. You know what I'm saying? Hodgins has been having kind of a quiet camp. But I want to get Alex's take, if he's able to come on, about what he's seen from my man Hodgins, man. So with a lot to prove. I think a lot of people players on this team got a lot to prove, man. Look at how they've been getting dragged in the media. They calling Saquon Barkley stupid for taking the deal. You know what I'm saying? They trashing Daniel Jones. They saying Darren Waller can't stay healthy. You know what I'm saying? They laughed at Slayton. You know, this team has a lot to prove. You know, people saying Evan Neal's a bust. You know what I'm saying? Like, John Michael Smith, he wasn't even the first center selected, so he should have something to prove, man. Like, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm the best in the draft, and he didn't even go first. It was I forgot who it was. That went to the Jets, I think. But so this team does have something to prove. Most definitely, man. You know, a lot of these cats, he knows the system in football is his entire focus. Absolutely. Where's Shane? Car 54, where are you? Azudu should be our starting left guard. He was drafted for a reason. I think he will be eventually. I can't say that he's going to beat out Ben Bredesen this season, but it will be a real competition, and we shall see, man. But like I said, even if he doesn't win, even if he gets the left guard spot, man, you could put Bredesen at right guard. I'm not a fan of Mark Lewinsky. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Maybe we could, maybe he does get better he's a veteran, so maybe he has a better season this year, but it's just like, let's get these young guys in there, man. Let's coach them up, man, and let's see what we got, man, on this whole line, man, because he ain't gonna be here past this year anyway. You know what I mean?
Hey, no Jets. How could you say that?
Yeah,
how Slayton will be better than discrediting him when they just gave him the highest guaranteed amount of money.
Yeah, no, he's talking about the media. He's talking about how the media discredits Andrew Thomas. Because what I was saying was, we talking about how the Giants and a lot of these players have a lot to prove. You know, we already know Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones, you know, and I was just saying, you know, guys like John Michael Smith, who wasn't the first center selected, you know what I'm saying? Guys like Evan Neal, a lot of people saying is a bust already, you know, and then Mets just chimed in and said Andrew Thomas, and Andrew Thomas doesn't get the credit he deserves. You know what I'm saying? I think that dude's the best, if not number two, with your man Trent Williams, you know, so I think they're right there, 1-2. You know what I'm saying? Andrew Thomas, he don't give no give. You know what I'm saying? Like, that dude's a wall, man. You don't get around him. And yeah, he says the media. So absolutely. But I want to get back to E's comment real quick. Says Slayton will be better than 80% of all number 3 CBs he will face. Right. It's a difference when you're facing the team's number 1 corner versus a team's number 3 or possibly number 4 corner. Because teams are going to have to deal with not only Slayton, Waller and Barkley, but you got Campbell and Hyatt that you have to pay attention to. Hodgins in the slot, Sterling Shepard. Anybody? Remember, he's still on this team too. Very good receiver, you know, when healthy. So you can't ignore Shep either. You know what I'm saying?
Riggs,
so
Riggs.
Riggs.
You too old for this shit, Riggs.
But Shep's still here. You know what I'm saying? I think he will be on the roster. There is some doubt amongst fans, amongst Shepard himself, whether he's going to be, because look, it's a lot of competition with these wide receivers. So most definitely, man, Shep isn't guaranteed a spot. But I think at the end of the day, you know, he'll beat out Crowder and Beasley, man. But because I think that's his direct competition as far as the roster spot is concerned. Yeah, Tudo, master salutes and respects to El Rey, G Nation, G Nation, Big Blue Crew, Little Bronx, and YG22, Coach Ed, Miz, No Mets, Alex, and all diehard Giants fans in the building waiting on D-line. Yeah, definitely, man. Wow. Much love and respect to Miss Wise. Definitely, man. We definitely going to play the commercial. And Slayton has been working with wide receiver coach on the side, same one that Evan Ingram has been using. Seems to be working. Yeah. I heard they had him. I heard he was using training catching tennis balls. And also yeah, so yeah, and he's catching shout out to Big Pat. Go check out Pat's video on Slayton, man. Good stuff right there. But Slayton is actually using his hands now. He's not catching it with his body like he was in the past. You know what I'm saying? He's hand catching. You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna cut down drops, because the ball hits your body and it's easier for the DB to knock it out, pluck it out, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that is going to definitely help him cut down on his drops, man. And let's be honest, man. If Slayton played, remember he didn't play until like week 3 or 4 last year. I mean, he probably would have been over 1,000 even with the drops. But now, if you cut these drops down, and basically, you know what I'm saying, with the team around him, I don't see why this dude can't get over 1,000 yards. We haven't had 1,000-yard receiver since Odell Beckham. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying. I definitely think Wallace getting 1,000
million to make one fucking catch.
So yeah, we haven't had that, man. You know what I mean? Says Shet will and should retire Giant roster spot or no roster spot. I think he will. I don't think he's going to go over there. I don't think he's going to Victor Cruz it. Victor Cruz, man, get your mans, yo.
Why?
It's Victor Cruz. Did you see the
What you were talking
video?
About ask for a trade.
Yeah, to the Bears. Get the Bears out of here, man. Get your man.
I understand why he's saying that. I don't agree with him. I don't agree with him one bit, but I understand why he's saying it. From a player perspective, it's looking like even if Barkley balls out this year, they're not going to sign him to a long-term contract.
I think they will.
You know what I'm saying?
I think they will.
In the event that they don't, what Victor Cruz is basically saying, they got Justin Fields over there. They're a young team in the rebuild. Their quarterback is a run threat, just like Daniel Jones. You know what I'm saying? And maybe he have a chance as a veteran running back to catch a big contract with a team like that who has a rookie quarterback or second-year quarterback. Well, Justin Fields, what, his 3rd year?
Yeah, he's going into his 3rd year.
Yeah. So,
but that's bullshit.
I mean, I don't agree with it at all. But I can see, I can see what perspective he's coming from. Because if Barkley if he balls out this year, the only place he's gonna latch on for a big contract is with a rookie quarterback or upcoming quarterback who's gonna need a veteran running back to help them call out the defenses. You know what I'm saying, and help them in the crunch. Barkley fits that bill. Those are the only teams that would give him a big contract, or a team that's near playoff or Super Bowl that just needs a running back to put them over the top. Those are the only 2 places he'll latch on if he balls out this year and they don't want to re-sign him.
Yeah. I think they'll work it out. I honestly do. And I think Barkley will be here. I
would love that. I have 3 of his jerseys.
Yeah, we know that it got a little sticky, but I think them just resolving it for this season, I think, is a step in the right direction. I think when they come back to the table, Barkley will have another season under his belt of balling out, playing well, and then he can really hit them with like, yo, what y'all gonna do? You know what I'm saying? I think they'll pony up the money. Remember, Leonard Williams' contract comes off the book. That's gonna open up a lot of cash for the Giants to spend. I think Coach was saying that they should have at least $50 million in cap room going into next season. So see, these last few years, we were kind of strapped for cash.
Yeah.
That's
All
why
backloaded deals, the Gettleman and Jerry
Gettleman,
Reese
yeah,
did.
you see what I'm
Not
saying?
just him,
So
Jerry Reese too. Because Gettleman walked into a shit show. He didn't walk into a picnic. It was Jerry Reese and Gettleman's undoing that we're going through.
But yeah, Leonard Williams coming off the books, possibly Adoree Jackson coming off the books. We'll see, man. But that'll open up money for Barkley, man. And I think, you know, they probably wouldn't mind at that point overspending a little bit, man, to make them happy, man. I think this year it was just tight because they knew they had to get that Dex deal done. They knew they had to sign Daniel Jones. They knew they needed to lock up Andrew Thomas. I mean, you need these guys. These are pillar positions of your team, man. You know, no matter what you think about them or I think about them, you know what I'm saying? The GM and the coach knows, hey, I need a left tackle. I need a quarterback. Right. And I need somebody on the defense that can, you know, stop the run and rush the passer, man. And those are the guys you're going to take care of first. You know what I'm saying? Not your running back, you know, despite the way people feel about Barkley. But I think now that those players are locked up, yeah, they can open up the checkbook and say, all right, Saquon, you know, here you go, man. You know, we got the money now. You know, you're part of this team moving forward. So, and a lot of our players are on rookie deals. There you are, man. What's up, Coach? You good over there?
Don't even talk about it right now. Just, I need this right now. I really do.
All right, let's go, man.
Let's go.
He says Colin Johnson pause and Ford Wheaton are battling as well. Yeah, talk about let's talk about Mr. Colin Johnson pause and Bryce Ford Wheaton. It seems that those two are battling for the possibly that last wide receiver roster spot. You know, given the givens, which are Slayton, Campbell, Hyatt, Hodgins, I guess you could say Shep, maybe.
Wandale Robinson too.
Wandale Robinson, but he'll be on PUP, so you'll have a spot for somebody to take.
Don't get me wrong. I like Colin Johnson. I think he was doing real good. What's going on, Alex?
What's good, Alex, man? What's good, man?
He looked real good in the preseason last year before he got hurt. It was looking like he was going to win out Kenny Galladay's starting spot, and then he got injured, and we ended up picking up Hodgins. But I honestly think that the Giants would be more inclined to sign the rookie for cheap, who was undrafted, than re-sign a guy who had an Achilles tendon surgery for more.
Okay.
You know what I mean? When you have this much depth at receiver and you have an undrafted guy like Ford Wheaton, if he plays even slightly better than Colin Johnson, it would be a better investment to sign him for a cheaper deal because he was undrafted than to pay the guy who is already at this point a veteran journeyman because he's been on 4 teams. You know what I mean? So he's going to require more money, right? It would behoove the Giants to sign Bryce Ford Wheaton to a cheap deal, develop him up, and hopefully he turns out to be what we all thought he could be in the league in a few years.
True that, man. Alex, man, what's good with you, man? Glad you're able to come on, man. You know what I'm saying? This is Alex, man, Big Blue in the Bronx, man. Yankees content creator, Giants content creator, man. You know what I'm saying? Doing big things. I think you do. No, your brother does Knicks, right? Yeah, he does the Knicks. So definitely, man. Shout out to Big Blue in the Bronx, man. But Alex, you were at training camp, man. So talk to us a little bit about what you're seeing out there, man, and what you some of the observations that you had from Giants training camp today.
So just a little plug in here. Shout outs. It's also, I got a new video coming out probably within the next few minutes recapping training camp. And of course, I'm going to talk about it on here, but I would like to shout out the Giants. I stood all 2 hours on my feet today, but I guess the good thing about that is I got to high five a couple of Giants players, including our starting quarterback and our running back. But I have it on video. I'll probably put it on Twitter.
Awesome. Hell yeah.
But today, I mean, there's been a lot of stuff that we could definitely go over. Today, I didn't get too good of an eye at the 1-on-1s / 7-on-7s, but I did get the 1-on-1s from the offensive line. And I thought Bredesen looked well, or at least he looked pretty good. I thought Andrew Thomas looked pretty good. The defense is starting to get there, though. I think we're going to see that through the next few days. It's definitely been a little bit more of an offensive camp, but the defense is starting to get there. Like today, they obviously got in pads. Wink put up the pressure, and Tyrod Taylor was forced to throw out a couple of times. Daniel Jones would have been sacked like 3 times. So you're going to see that. But overall, I mean, this is like I went to training camp last year. I went to training camp in 2019 for one practice. And then obviously we heard beat reports about, training camp in 20 and 21. In my honest opinion, this is probably the best the offense has looked through the past few years. And I think it's all because of the elephant in the room, Darren Waller. He has been absolutely uncoverable and a lot of different, catches and all this sort of stuff. And the connection is there. And it's just really good to see. And I think Daniel Jones also has looked the best, at least that I've seen in the last few years at this camp. He looks confident. He looks like he's zipping passes. And I also would say that Paris Campbell is probably going to be, at least in my opinion. Now, Isaiah Hodgins has had a quiet camp, but then again, too, he has to go up against Adoree most of the time. I would say Paris Campbell, I would not sleep on him. I would not sleep on him right now. Obviously Shep is back. Obviously you got some other guys rotating in, but I think right now, if you asked me who should start in the slot, I think it's Paris Campbell.
Over Shep and over I guess it would be Beasley and Crowder. I don't think Crowder's going to make it. How are they looking, by the way? Crowder, I know I seen he had a splash play. But what about Crowder and Beasley?
So Crowder yesterday, 11-6. Crowder yesterday had a big
Miz
play.
Is asking for the link.
Okay, got you.
But I think, as I said, I think Paris Campbell's the best slot out there. Beasley on Thursday worried me a little bit because I tweeted out on Sunday, and this is pretty, obviously visible to Giant fans. Darnay Holmes has not had the best camp, and that's not necessarily opportune. Because, it's not necessarily opportune because he's facing heavy competition in the slot with Cordell Flott right now. But there was just like one rep. Yeah. I'm just saying facts. We spit facts over here. The big blue.
I know. That's what I said. Talk your shit.
But there was one rep in one-on-ones, and this obviously changed a few days later where Cole Beasley was just locked down by Darnay Holmes, and I'm like, I'm gonna question his age and his speed right there. But then 2 days later, he actually beat Darnay Holmes for a touchdown, and Paris Campbell got 2 touchdowns in one-on-one. So I don't think Beasley makes the team. I think Crowder maybe, but I still wouldn't give him like 100% shot. I mean, Shep's out there, so.
Alex, to be honest with you, I think they brought Beasley in as a measuring stick to see how bad Shep is or how much he's improved. If they compare them side by side, if Beasley is faster than Shep, then you got to get rid of both of them.
Right. No, I absolutely agree with you. I think the preseason games, and also especially with these joint practices next week against Detroit, I think that's going to be a telling tale for a lot of things. Like maybe the offense looks good right now and it just sucks against Detroit, and maybe we bounce back on our original word. Now, I don't know that that's going to happen, but a lot of different questions are going to be answered. Like, for instance, is Cordell Flott, is he going to look as good as we see him right now? But there's a lot of questions to be answered, and one of those happened to be, is Cole Beasley, like, can he still run in the slot, or is it, is his age actually wearing on him, and Darnay Holmes isn't that good?
Miz, what's good with you, man? Welcome to the show, man. How you doing, man?
Good, man. What's going on, guys?
What up, Miz?
Yeah, man. So we're going to talk some Giants, but don't go nowhere, Alex, because I do want to get your thoughts on the Yankees and the MLB trade deadline. But talk about this four weeks.
This ain't the New York Yankees, bro. This is some other Yankee team. Some team I don't recognize growing up. To be honest with you, just to say the rest for Alex, but
we're gonna get to the Yanks in just a second. Ford Wheaton looks sharp and has natural chemistry. Bryce Ford Wheaton has every skill Colin Johnson has, but Wheaton has skill, speed, and CJ doesn't. So talk about what you've seen out of Colin Johnson and Bryce Ford Wheaton, Alex.
So Bryce Ford Wheaton has had a couple of nice catches, but he is, at least at this part of camp, he's not as consistent enough as Colin Johnson. Like Colin Johnson had a nice rep today where I forget who the corner was. He had him on a curl. I think Colin Johnson, has he had the camp last year, as like going back to last year, like the same rhythm? No, but you could still feel he's like at the top of the cup in terms of like the competition for wide receivers heading on this roster. Like Jaden Mickens, Khalil Pimpleton, Bryce Ford Wheaton. I don't think they really are where Colin Johnson is at. And I know Lou was talking about before I got on, obviously the options of where you could say, oh, well, you could get Bryce Ford Wheaton for cheaper. You could do that, but also as well, I think Colin Johnson, obviously you could do multiple things. He's got a little bit of speed in him. He's a taller guy, so if you want to do 50-50 balls. And then also as well with I just lost my train of thought. But there I got it back. Bryce Ford Wheaton is eligible for the practice squad, like Colin Johnson would be, but I think Colin Johnson is more of an asset to be on the active roster right now than Bryce Ford Wheaton, where you could keep Bryce Ford Wheaton on the practice squad, let him develop, and then elevate him for a few games and kind of see how that goes.
You think he would make it to the practice squad?
It depends how he does in the preseason, because he was highly touted, 5th, 6th round pick coming out of college, and maybe a team snags him and says, "Hey, listen, we're gonna." Obviously, I think the Giants have enough depth of receivers so that they're not going to cry over him. But if he does make it through waivers, I think it is possible that they could go out and say, "Let's just re-sign him to the practice squad."
I would rather wager my money on the young guy and develop him for a few years for a cheap contract. As I said, then bet on a guy with a ruptured Achilles tendon who's coming back from an injured season, who has been a journeyman on 4 different teams and didn't latch on.
I see your point there. I mean, to be fair, though, he only played for Jacksonville, but I still see your point.
True, he did only play for Jacksonville and us, but at the same time, look at the competition he was battling against in our wide receiver group last year.
Yeah.
So for him to do good
different.
last year didn't really say much about how good of a player he is, because the guys he was competing against it was the slowest wide receiver group in the league last year.
Right.
So, let's see what he does this year with the competition that we have in the wide receiver group now. I think we got 17 wide receivers, something like that.
15.
15?
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Coach? I don't know if you were there or not. You're so quiet.
Something else.
What up, Coach?
What's good, Bookends? What's good, man? What have you seen out of Kayvon Thibodeau and Azeez Ojulari? Those are two a position that I'm really interested in, because I feel like we definitely want to see Kayvon Thibodeau take that next step. I know, Miz, you said 10 sacks plus this year. I agree with you. But talk about what you've seen in camp now that the pads on from KT and from Azeez Ojulari.
Yeah, it seems like the last 2 practices that the defense is slowly getting its way into the backfield. Dexter Lawrence obviously would have had a sack on that Jason Pinnock viral pick that he had in training camp a few days ago. But Kayvon and Azeez, I would say more so Azeez, but I'm not gonna leave it on that ledge. I'm gonna wait a few days to make a justified statement. But I would say both of them are starting to get in the backfield. Both of them are starting to get in the backfield a little bit more every single day, and that's obviously good. And now, obviously, you would not like them to beat Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal, but if that means, hey, listen, they're doing better on this rep or whatever, as long as it's balanced, is fine. But it's just the question is how. And I know Kayvon was definitely not satisfied with his play last year. I could tell he's obviously working on a couple of different things. And then just the question is with Azeez, I think he is already there. It's just, can he stay healthy?
Yeah, I agree with you. With Azeez, man, we definitely need him to stay healthy. When healthy, dude's a monster. We already know that, man. So definitely. What about Evan Neal? How's he looking? Because a lot rides on this season rides on Mr. Evan Neal, man. Because if Evan Neal is who we drafted him to be, I do believe this Giants team can go a long way. If he's struggling and Daniel Jones is under pressure a lot, then you're going to see some of the similar things that we've been seeing in the past, with DJ running for his life. How has Evan Neal looked in your opinion thus far?
He's definitely looked better. I'm gonna wait on that statement maybe a little bit more till we get to see him against Detroit in the joint practices and also in the game. But I think he's looked better. I mean, it's a balance of things. Once again, you're going up against disease, so it's not going to be easy every time. He's not getting beat by any rushers that are rotational. But today his feet were a little quicker. He had some not so great reps, but also it was just balanced. Like he would have some good reps here, bad reps here. But it is right to put the expectation of he needs to step up on his shoulders. It's right to have that expectation. I mean, he was a first-round pick last year.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You know what I'm saying? Bookend says, trying to hold my expectations, but getting pumped for the season. The future is bright. Most definitely, man. But what else have you noticed in camp thus far that we should be keeping an eye on?
Well, I saw you guys already talking about it in the chat. I don't know if you guys talked about it on the panel, but Trey Hawkins is extremely impressive. Yesterday he struggled apparently a little bit, but today I think he made it like a huge step. And he's with the ones. I didn't know, I was a little bit far, so I didn't know if Deontay was playing with the ones a little bit or Trey Hawkins was just straight up that other corner. But he had a nice pass breakup on a Jalen Hyatt deep route, kind of the same thing the other day. Isaiah Hodgins, he made sure to shove Hodgins out of bounds so that Hodgins caught a 50-50 pass on him, but he made sure to shove him out of bounds so that in the pass was actually counted as incomplete. But he's been a monster. There was if one of the first few days of camp in one-on-ones, he actually caught a pass, meaning he intercepted a pass off Tommy DeVito intended for Bryce Ford-Wheaton. So he's been a monster. He's physical. If you look at his tape from Old Dominion, physical, nasty type of player. Now, I don't know where – now, I would assume –
too.
Yeah, he's pretty tall. But I would assume maybe our expectations are bounced back a little bit once we get to see the Lions, because that's it's my biggest test is, what are we going to do against the Lions? Because obviously they got some solid receivers. But, I mean, listen, if, Jalen Hyatt and he's facing Hodgins and Hyatt, and I want to see him go up against Slayton a little bit more because I feel like Slayton – has been having a solid camp, and I think he's probably more comparable to the guys you'll see on the Detroit Lions. But with that being said, no, Trey Hawkins has had an awesome camp, and as far as the whole thing with Deontay goes, I think Deontay Banks is getting better by the day. He's still struggling, and that's something you would expect out of a rookie corner. Now, would I go to say, look, Trey Hawkins should start over him? No, but I think it is fair to let Trey Hawkins kind of rotate in and, have some number one reps and just, see who does better and whatnot. And we have, at least in my opinion, solid corner depth all around.
Yeah, that was one of the first things we opened the show with. Who was asking, would I be upset if Trey Hawkins actually ended up starting and Deontay Banks didn't? And I said, to me, it doesn't matter, what number you were picked at. The guy that gives us the best chance to win is the guy I want playing, period. Whether you were drafted in the first round or the seventh round, if you're the best guy at that position, play the best guy at that position. I don't care where the hell he was drafted.
Right, and honestly, that goes into another subject that's kind of the similar position group, is they invested a fourth-round pick in Dane Belton. Not that he's looked bad, but Jason Pinnock just has looked better. And he took another set of first-team reps today. So I don't think – now, I'm actually very interested to see when the unofficial depth chart comes out and who's listed as what. But I also don't see it – I see Pinnock really trying to push Dane Belton for that safety spot that he's in right now. I don't think it's a bad thing if Pinnock starts because obviously you want the best player to start. But I think they would still kind of rotate Dane Belton in certain situations where they see Dane Belton as a fit. But Jason Pinnock has had a wonderful camp thus far. I don't think that's to be understated.
Yeah, man. I've actually been, a little bit high on Pinnock, man, because last year I thought he was one of the better blitzing safeties on the
Yeah.
Giants. You know what I'm saying? He did very well in the run game. So definitely, man, I think this kid's got talent. I think,
He's not scared to
you know,
tackle either.
right, you know what I'm saying? That's what we need, man, you know, so that we can allow Xavier McKinney to, you know, play that free safety role, you know, that he's well at, you know what I'm saying? But it seemed like last year, you know, with the injuries, you know, we had to use Julian Love in that role. And then, you know, you had Pinnock kind of come on late in the season, man, and show some things, man, from the strong safety position, man. So I'm
I
definitely
honestly think
looking
that's
forward
why
for
they
that.
let Love go,
Yeah,
because they thought
yeah.
that they had something between Belton and Pinnock.
Mm-hmm. Yep, most definitely, man. Good stuff, man. So before I let you go, Alex, I do want to touch on the Yankees. Just a minute. I know they traded for Spencer Howard from the Rangers. What is wrong with this team, man? Why? I mean, look, man. The Mets got it. They sold. They knew they weren't going anywhere. You know, last place, as are the Yankees in this division. Um, what exactly are Boone and Cashman looking at with this team, and why haven't they made any moves? Trade deadline came and went now, and you get a reliever from the Rangers, and that's all you do.
They gave George Costanza's cheap ass a job. That's why. You ever watch?
Like George
Yeah.
Costanza would probably make better decisions, but
That's a damn shame.
yeah, that says a lot about the Yankees. But no, I mean it's been awfully puzzling for the Yankees this entire year. Last place team, it's just very strange. I mean, you've seen the fall that Anthony Rizzo has taken. He doesn't look like the same player. Giancarlo Stanton, his legs are cooked. They did nothing without Judge. They're going to do absolutely nothing with Judge. And that's not saying anything about Aaron Judge. It's just saying, look, Judge can hit 3 home runs every single day, but the Yankees are still going to lose. What was mind-boggling to me, and obviously I was a guy, look, just sell at the deadline, and then next year you go out and do this, that, and the other thing. It was really strange what they did, because there was also the talks of them buying like cheaper outfielders because the Yankees don't have pure outfielders. You know, you got IKF and Bowers playing outfield when Judge and Stanton aren't out there. They got 2 relievers who are not very good if you look at the stats. Spencer Howard has been tossed around. Same thing can be said with Kenyon Middleton. And it's just strange because the Yankees are first in bullpen ERA. And, you know, I could get maybe if you get a small outfielder, like I could kind of jump on that train. But as you brought up before, like, and I've been getting into the Mets more recently because a good friend of mine who also co-hosts some of our shows, he's a big Mets fan. So, you know, I've been watching a little bit and whatnot. They picked a direction and they got solid returns for every single player that they dealt. Let's see. For Justin Verlander, they got 2 top 5 prospects.
Yeah.
And Justin Verlander was an expensive contract. Max Scherzer, they got like a top 10. They got Ronald Acuna's brother in return. There was some other deals. They got some.
Oh, that was his brother. I seen Acuna. That's his actual brother.
Yes, that is Ronald Acuna's brother. You know, they got like a top 20 prospect for a role-playing outfielder. So Billy Epler, who's the GM for the Mets, obviously didn't do a good job of building this team because they still have bullpen issues and they still have farm issues. But I mean, he traded for a lot of minor league players to kind of build up that farm system. And they're not competing next year. They're not going to be competing this year either. So it's kind of like a rebuild for them. But as far as the Yankees go, yeah, it's just questionable how anyone's really supposed to believe in. This is probably the most questionable deadline I've ever seen from the Yankees. Now, 2021 was an awful year. They at least bought, like they at least had a decision. Listen, we're going to go all in for it. We're going to trade for Joey Gallo, do this, and the other thing. Did I agree with it? No, but you picked the direction. They bought last year, but they didn't do anything this year. You bought 2 below average relievers, didn't trade off any of the guys whose contracts expire after this year. So I just said, you know, I don't know what the plan is. Brian Cashman said we're in it to win it, and basically some of the deals
What?
didn't make sense to us. I'm just so glad, as probably Met fans and Yankee fans think alike, and even Jet fans and Giant fans who root for like New York baseball teams. Football season is here, and that's where all the attention's going to go.
Yeah.
I just don't like. At least the Mets, you got something to look forward to. At least like, hey, listen, we're rebuilding, we're doing this. Our season was a failure, but hey, the Yankees is just continual year after year. They make excuses. They don't get good enough players. I don't want to go to the stadium unless I have to. But I mean, it's a complete joke. It's a complete joke. It's ad nauseum that this team literally recycles everything they do. And then I don't know if you saw, what was it last night? They said Domingo Germán wasn't healthy. They threw out a minor league starter for 4 innings, gave up 4 runs, and then put Germán in and acted and just like, how does that? What team does that? What team does that? I would have, if I was Aaron Boone, and I literally made a video on it. If I was Aaron Boone, what I would have said is, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to keep my reputation at the line. I'm not going to lower my reputation. I would have just kept Germán out the entire game just to keep the statement the same. I don't, care if they perceive me as a liar or whatnot. But it just doesn't make any sense at all, man. It just doesn't make any sense. Last place team. The Mets were second to last place. What's up, Pat? The Yankees were the Mets were second to last place, and they bought. They sold. They picked a direction. So it's not a good time to be a Yankee fan. This is the lowest I've been as a Yankee fan.
It feels really disgusting. It does, man. And it's go ahead, Lou. Chime in.
New York is like that. You're never gonna have a season where the Yankees, Jets, Giants, Mets, Rangers, Knicks are all the shit at the same time, right? So the Giants are on the come up, Yankees are, Mets are, Knicks are. So the Jets are probably gonna have a great year as well.
Bring on football season. Our first
game. Most definitely, man. And we was touching on the Jets a little bit earlier, man. But this Yankees team, man. Before I wrap this up, man, it's just. What direction do you think they should have went in, Alex, man? Because they can't do anything with Stanton's contract. I don't imagine. And I think he's the guy that definitely needs to go. Because, you ain't getting much out of this cat, if anything. You know what I'm saying? And he stays hurt too. You know what I'm saying? He strikes out a ton. It's just, you don't have any real balance in that lineup as far as power and contact. The Yankees back in the day, they had a lot of power hitters, but they also had a lot of contact hitters too. You know what I'm saying? One of the best, Derek Jeter. You know what I'm saying? Contact, good average hitter. I look at the Yankees and I'm looking at their batting average and I'm like, what the fuck? Do they have a hitter over 300, Alex?
NYG, you know why the Yankees made a big mistake? I said this last year. Nobody's going to believe me that I said this. The Yankees should have not fucking paid Judge. Okay? That's going to turn out to be a monster mistake. You'll see. Because all the Yankees have become now is we paid Judge. We just want to put the fans in the seats and sell out most of the year. And we don't care. We're good with just sneaking into a wild card and going home every year. And that's what the Yankees have become. Now, if you wouldn't have paid Judge, you would have rebuilt a young team. You would have went out and got a couple of real players because that's a lot of money they paid them. You could have put together a nice team. Look at the teams that are doing good in baseball. The Baltimore Orioles, a bunch of young kids. The Minnesota Twins. I mean, we can go through it. The Atlanta Braves are probably going to win the World Series this year. Okay? You don't need to have a $400 million player. And what's even funnier is I listen to fans about, they have to go get Ohtani. Oh yeah, we're gonna pay $400 million to 2 different players each, right? Seriously, and you expect to win with that?
Go get 4 $100 million players.
That's the problem. The question to me is this: is Cashman making the decisions through analytics, or is Cashman making decisions according to what the owner asked him to do? A yes man. It's we don't know what it is, but it really matters, man. Because if it's the owner making the decision, the Yankee fans are screwed for a long time. And if it's Cashman, well, then it's time to move on with the analytic bullshit. But truth be told, they should have probably traded some players away, try to get a couple of young things going for the future, and look for 2 years from now. You know, Rizzo too, man. Rizzo looks shot.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Yeah, there's no juice. There's no juice anymore. Man. It's just, like I said, I feel it's from the ownership. They suck. They're happy. They're content. It's become a business rather than win a championship. They are nothing like that.
Yeah. I think E said it well here. Cashman is not a baseball mind. He's a baseball politician. I think there is a lot of politics and a lot of things going on with the Yankees where it, like you said, Miss, it just don't seem like they're focused on winning the championship no more. The old Yankees regime, they would have went for it. They would have put the bucks behind who they needed to get. You know what I'm saying? Bring up where's the young prospects at now? You know what I'm saying? Who's coming down the pipeline? You see what I'm saying? It's just bare.
Nothing.
So I'm like, that's where I'm like,
they paid Judge a lot of money, right? Okay. You could go another route, by the way. I'm also, there's another way to go. You could have paid Judge and let's dismantle the team around him and build a young team around him through the minors. You could do that also, but that's not what they're doing, man. Last year, Judge sold out the stadium every night all by himself. Let's be fucking honest, okay? And that's all they care about. They got the money. That's all they care. They're making money, and they're not like, we paid Judge, but we're going to go out and get another real good pitcher, and we're going to go get a left fielder. Like, they didn't do nothing. They got 2 bums today, man. Who cares? Nobody cares.
What they got?
He's right.
2 bums.
They don't care. It's not the Yankees we knew in the 90s and early 2000s. Let's be honest.
They got 2 bums today.
They did. I like how he said that too, because that's how I feel. They got fucking bums, man. Like, what are we doing here?
You think that they actually looked into getting these 2 players because they're 2 pieces that are going to help the Yankees make the playoffs? No, they got them to shut the fans up, but it's not. It's only going to make the fans angrier. That's all.
It made me angrier. I'm gonna be honest with you, man, and you know what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, I definitely want to talk about that today, man, because it just don't look like this team is really trying. You know what I'm saying? And they could have did something. They could have got an outfielder. They could have tried. You ain't tried. This is just okay. Well, we shook the bag and nothing came out. We got Spencer Howard. He's what rolled out the bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now.
It's not even that. But what they scored tonight? 0, Alex? Because I shut the game off in like the 5th inning.
2 runs, yeah.
5-2
they scored 2 runs? Okay, because I was telling, the last 3 games, they scored 1 run total. I didn't stick around for the last bullshit 2 runs that they put at the end of the game. So now they can't even score runs. They can't hit the ball at all. It's crazy. It is crazy. How many games in the last week did you watch? How many Yankee games did we watch in the last week that were supposed to be big games that are going to turn the season around, and the game was over in the 1st inning? This bum gives up 7 runs the other night before he even gets it out. The guy's a scrub.
Severino, yeah. We don't have no pitchers, man. We don't have no pitchers, man. It's bad, man. But let's get back to the Giants, man.
Alex one question, if I can, because he was at the camp today, right?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Anything on Beavers, the linebacker? I haven't seen anything.
Funny you mentioned that, Miz. There was a drill today that they did. It wasn't with wide receivers, but it was the O-line and like 2 tight end sets and running backs. So they would simulate running plays. These 3 guys look good, like a couple of run stops. Now, obviously, it's not live tackling or any of that stuff. Beavers had an impressive run stop. So did Okereke, and so did Nacho. So those are all 3 guys that are essentially new to the team. Beavers coming back from last year's injury, and then Okereke and Nacho free agents. So that's another thing I'm looking forward to. But they look good today. I'm not going to – and you couldn't really tell the first few days because it's like, okay, well, no pads. They weren't doing any specific drills or anything like that. Other stuff is coverage because they were doing mostly passing most of the time. But Beavers, Okereke, and Nacho look good, especially against the run today.
Yeah, because we kind of counting on Beavers. I mean, because he's the guy next to Okereke. You know what I'm saying? Him and Michael McFadden. What have you seen out of McFadden?
McFadden, I didn't really see. I haven't seen like too much to take away anything as much, but he's rotating in with Beavers. So, I mean, I know today he was playing on the second team with Carter Coughlin, but also rotating, when they were doing some 5-minute, 2-minute offense drills, but haven't seen a ton to make total judgments yet. Again, as we go on with the pads, I'm assuming more playmaking is going to happen from the linebackers, which is something we hope.
Beaver.
But, yeah.
Hey, Alex.
What is up, Pat?
Pat, what's good, Pat, man? Welcome to the show, bro.
What's up, Pat? I don't see you, but what's up?
100 damn degrees down here. It's so damn hot down here in Louisiana. It don't make no damn sense. Dogs can't even walk on the sidewalk. It's so hot, bro.
God damn.
That's a good job in weather, Pat. That's a good job in weather.
It's 96 over here. We ain't doing no damn better.
Yeah, it's hot where I'm at too.
How in a little bit of drills that they did, how did Evan Neal look? I got a clue on how it was, but unfortunately I'm not able to be right there in the action like you guys. So how did Evan Neal look?
Not perfect technique, but I would say all right. Like I can see the improvements. Like his feet look a little quicker. Obviously, he slimmed down, as you guys have probably heard in the offseason. But I'm taking it day by day. As I said, I thought he looked solid today against Ojulari, and then when Thibodeau was also rushing on his side. And now the pads are on, they're probably going to be doing more one-on-one drills. So, yeah, I would say it's a step for progress, but I'm not going to take it too far.
Okay, and did Dex baptize JMS a little bit today?
He actually had solid technique, but I think the strength issue is definitely there for JMS because it's not like he totally washed him. Like there was one rep, and this wasn't even what was I gonna say? Any of the like starters. Tamon Fox just bull rushed the living shit out of Tyree Phillips. Tyree Phillips fell on his ass. So that maybe that's influence in terms of like backup rushers. But no, like Schmitz was getting pushed back, but he was still like, holding on and grasping. So you could tell the technique is there. It's just the strength needs to get a little bit better. And you're facing Dexter Lawrence for God's sakes. But as we move on, I think it's going to get a little bit better for JMS. And Azudu was the left guard today for the starters.
So let's just say you switch out Dex and put in Allen or Fletcher Cox. Do you think that would be a better rep?
Jonathan Allen, no. Fletcher Cox, maybe. I mean, it's going to be interesting as well because Jalen Carter, he's going to be a new addition. So, but
I think Jalen Carter has more speed than strength.
True.
When it comes to the inside with Schmitz, I don't think Schmitz is weak. I just think Dex is that fucking strong, bro. You remember he did that shit to Quentin Nelson and grabbed somebody else. Like, he did that to Quentin Nelson with one arm. And we all know Quentin Nelson is not weak. So I think it's just Dex is that damn strong, bro. That shit. How the hell did they not know to put Dex at the nose guard before Wink got here? I don't understand that, man.
They were playing him at
coaches, man.
When they were playing him at defensive end, I'm like, what are you doing?
Wink wanted him over there in Baltimore. He said that's exactly what he wanted him for, was to put him over the nose.
Like, I don't understand that shit. Like, what were they thinking? I seen if Jalen Hyatt gets that route running down, that dude's gonna be a monster, bro. He's too fast.
Facts. Our first 3 picks of the draft is monsters, all of them. Sleep on Deontay Banks if you want to and get pick 60.
I think Deontay Banks is going to have a learning season this year when he faces top receivers this year.
That's fine. But in week 15, week 16, when we need one of them crucial games to advance and knock somebody out, that's when he gonna shine. Watch. He gonna win us a game with a pick six or take a touchdown away from the other team when they really need it.
Now I will say this: if this Williams kid can play decent enough to where we could put him on the outside on third down situations, that's gonna uplift this defense tremendously. Because now we can have a Pro Bowl caliber cornerback at the slot on those third down situations in Adoree Jackson.
See,
But
that's what I was saying earlier. They was talking about putting Adoree in the slot because they if you can put you talking about Trey Hawkins,
I'm sorry,
right?
go ahead, my bad.
Yeah, nah, you talking about putting who you talking about? Hawkins?
He's talking about Hawkins, I think.
Yeah, I'm talking about Hawkins to where we could put him on the outside,
No, because you
or
said
if we can lie.
Yeah, he said Williams. That's why I was like, are you talking about? Because we do have a Williams on the team.
I mean Hawkins. I meant Hawkins,
Yeah,
Trey Hawkins.
okay.
If we could put Hawkins on tight ends this year, that would be dope too. Because he looks like he can guard some tight ends, man. Like
He's
those,
real fluid with his hip movements and stuff. Yeah,
you know
I
what
watched
he
the
is?
tape. Yeah.
When I look at him and I break it down, I don't know if Coach agrees, if Coach is still there. He's a hip reader. And what I mean by that is he watches the person's hips and he's a guesser. Now that will fuck him up. Well, my bad, mess him up against somebody like a Jamar Chase or a Justin Jefferson, and you will absolutely get destroyed because they know how to, maneuver to where their body can go one way, but they're really going the other. But if you just an average receiver, or not even just average, if you're just a good receiver, you're not a great receiver, I think that dude could cover you. I think he's a slower version of Diggs from the Cowboys. He's a hip reader, and he's going to take chances. That's why I like TJ Hawkinson. I think he could have covered him because Hawkinson's not doing anything great as far as moves like a Kelsey or Mark Andrews or somebody like that. So I think he can stop it to where these regular old average Joe tight ends destroy us, like the Ferguson dude from the Cowboys. I'll put him on Ferguson. He's big enough to get with him.
How tall is Hawkins? It's what, 6'3"?
I got it.
Yeah, he's like 6'3".
6'3".
Wow.
And
I don't know, Coach. Am I a little off of my thing on Trey Hawkins? What do you see in him?
I haven't seen a lot on him, I've seen a couple of the little clips, and he's always seems to be in phase. Where his eyes are. I mean, you may be right. He might be reading the hips. So, and which is why he's always in phase. And, and being that it's just one-on-ones, it makes it easy. But he just seems to be, he's physical. He's aggressive. He does little veteran techniques where he grabs at the right point, but he also grabs where if you're running towards the official, he's using his inside hand where it's not as noticeable. And when the receiver tries to get separation going, say breaking on the in route, he's not holding on. So they won't be able to see a jersey tug. So, he's still developing, but he has some veteran moves, and the watching the hips. I'm going to have to look out for that.
To add on to that real quickly, there was a rep that stood out to me, and I talked about some earlier, but it was one-on-ones when he totally just he just totally locked down David Sills. Now, David Sills, we know who David Sills is, obviously, but he just had him in check 100% of the rep. I thought there was like a mini, jersey tug, but nothing the officials are going to call in the regular season. Mm-hmm. And also to bring up Pat's point about like flexibility and stuff, say Banks is at least average up to speed, and then you got, Hawkins, who you think is ready. If you want to realistically, you could maybe even put Flott on the outside and Adoree in the slot on some reps, because I think Flott can play the outside as well. So there's going to be a lot of maneuvering. And I don't think the New York Giants are going to shy away from toying with that.
Yeah, I don't think they are too, Alex. And just to add on to that, imagine being a quarterback and David Sills is one of your main weapons. and they bash you for not throwing up Mahomes type numbers. Like, he ran the route for David Seals. That was awful. If I was on the field, I was like, "Hey, David, turn in your playbook, because that we can't do nothing with that, man." He ran the route for you. Good Lord.
It's not looking good for Mr. Seals, man. And to your point, man, a lot of people wanted him on this roster over guys like Darius Slayton. So
that's crazy. You wanted that over Slayton? Slayton is the greatest, but golly. I looked at that, I said, he ran the route for him. Like, I don't get it, man. Now and then imagine having multiple people on the field like that. You try to throw it to them, boy. That's some hard work, boy. I don't know. I would have flipped over a couple Gatorade tables myself. Daniel Jones is a saint. But overall, man, I think this is gonna be a very good team. Hopefully, we come out the gate and beat those damn Cowboys. But go ahead.
Let's talk about that. Are the Giants real contenders in the NFC? Now, I talked about this a little bit on my Sunday show. Y'all go check that out. Giants Conversations every Sunday, 11:45. That is the pregame show for the NFL for the Big Blue Crew. But check it out, man. But yeah, are the Giants real contenders? Let's break it down. So, how would you rank this NFC right now? You got Philly, you got San Francisco, you have some people want to say Seattle, some people want to say Detroit, some people want to say Dallas. Where would the Giants rank in you guys' opinion? We can kind of go around with this, man, if you want. As far as the NFC, man, is this team really NFC contenders? And if we're contenders in the NFC, guess what? We're contenders for the Super Bowl. So, what you guys think? Where would you rank this Giants team at right now? We seeing it. We getting some football action, so we get a little bit of a glimpse of what this team can be, what this team can do. You know what I'm saying? We'll get more of that as the preseason goes along, of course. You know what I'm saying? So you could say it's too early to tell, but I'm right there. I think they are, man. What you guys' opinion on that, man? We'll start with Coach. You there? Let's start with Coach. Yeah. I ain't heard from Coach for in a minute. What's going on?
13-4.
13-4. 13-4. There it is, man. 13-4, man. What's your thoughts on that, though? Do you think where would you put the Giants at in order if you rank in the NFC, Coach? Are they better than Philly, San Francisco? Where we at?
We're going to beat San Francisco during the first game. So, yes, we're better than San Francisco, and we're on par with Philadelphia. I don't trust Philadelphia as much as everyone else thinks. So it gives the Giants great opportunities right now. Not having or losing your two coordinators, that's big. That's big on any level, whether it's, high school, college, in the NFL. Yes, they have talent, and, I'm not belittling their talent, but, I think that with what we're seeing, I question how are they going to defend Waller. Waller is going to be key. We're seeing that right now. And then you go to Paris Campbell, it's going to expand the offense. Hyatt. So, everyone talks about, what if? Okay, what if about the offensive line? Okay, but we still have talent there. We just have to put it all together. The same with them. They lost their starting right guard. So you're plugging in someone else who, is playing a very important position, and you're going to be going up against Leo and Dexter. So, it's the same thing. So that's why I say we're on par with them, in terms of the NFC.
Okay, good shit, man. I agree, man. I ain't scared of the Eagles. That's for damn sure. You know what I'm saying? And we gonna have to beat them, man, regardless, man. Whether it be in our division or whether it be in a playoff game, man, to probably get to where we want to get to, which is the Super Bowl, man. But let's hear Lou, man. Lou, what you got on that, man? Are the Giants real contenders in the NFC, man? Because we hearing a lot of noise in the media saying how bad the Giants are and how bad Daniel Jones is and Saquon Barkley's stupid and the fan base is dumb, the dumbest fans in the NFL and all this trolley ass shit, man. So what's your thoughts on that? Are we real contenders, the New York Giants in the NFC?
Most people who put people down use the insults that really describe them best. You know, that's just insecurities and a reflection of their inner selves and their deficiencies that they're trying to project on other people. That's Psych 101, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't listen to none of them. You want your real sports content, come to the Big Blue Crew Sports Network. We got you all locked down, baby. Mac with the wrestling, Alex with the baseball and all the current events in sports. Okay. Pat got your basketball, your football. Miz got your Miz in the midday to keep you hyped, motivated, and bodybuilding before he comes over there and puts your Gene Bell chokehold. And you know what I'm saying? Coach is giving you the X's and the O's. Make sure you understand what the hell you saying before you come on social media and make an ass out yourself. You know what I mean? We got you all locked down, man. Forget ESPN, NFL Network, Colin Cowherd, Cow Turd, whatever. You know, stop listening to these dudes, man. They always hating on the Giants. We know what's really going on. Just like I told you, Crawford was going to stop Spence in the 9th. Just like I told you, Tank was going to drop Ryan Garcia in the 7th. And I'm telling you now, 11-6 is the floor for the New York Giants. Don't be surprised if we host the Lombardi this year, year 2 of the Shane and Dable combo. Mess around and bring back a Lombardi.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you, bro. Definitely, man. Pat, what you thinking, man? How does Giants team stack up against the rest of these teams in the NFC, man? Where do you think we rank at, man?
Well, just to name the teams in the NFC that are playoff worthy, I would go the 49ers, the Seahawks, whoever can win that NFC South. That motherfucker is terrible. The Vikings and the Lions, that's 5. Us, the Eagles, and the Cowboys. You can put Washington in there if you want to, but what is it?
Coach, I agree with Coach, by the way. I don't think the Eagles make it to the playoffs this year. I think they run Jalen Hurts too much since they didn't re-sign their running back. They're going to try to use Jalen Hurts too much in the running capacity. He's going to get hurt. The whole team's going to regress, and they miss the playoffs. I'm telling you.
Well, they got Swift.
Unpopular opinion.
They got Swift. They got Rashad Penny. Way they often stop.
Sorry to your wife. I forgot she's a Bird fan.
Oh, hey, I'm not.
But they still got Rashad Penny. They still got Swift out there running back. The way they offensive line blocks, you don't have to be a stellar running back for those stats with them. As long as that offensive line is there and they're blocking, the Eagles are going to be good. So I'm not going to lie. I highly doubt they don't make the playoffs unless Jalen Hurts or somebody gets hurt. I highly doubt they don't make the playoffs unless their defense just fell all the way off because of some of the pieces they lost, which they really brought everybody back except for those linebackers. But and Gardner Johnson, but that's about it. I think they make the playoffs, even though I can't stand them dudes. I think they make the playoffs. I think we're definitely a playoff team. And if we can get the 49ers before they get on that damn road, because the 49ers, that defense, for some reason, after the halfway mark of the season, that defense turns into absolutely monsters. I don't know what it is. They do it every year, and after the half of the season, it don't matter what quarterback they put in there. They normally win at least 8 or 9 games out of the last 10. That's what they do.
Well, shit, let's rekindle the rivalry. The Giants and the 49ers used to have a playoff rivalry back in the day.
I think it could wind up being that. Because if we get somebody like the Vikings again in the first round or the Lions, we definitely beat them. And we play well in our division, we will be in the NFC Championship game. And I think it's going to be against those fucking 49ers. Because I don't think the Seahawks, man, when it just comes to just dog, the Seahawks can't mess with the 49ers. They always get blown out in the end. And it could be us versus the 49ers to see who goes into the Super Bowl again. So I'd definitely give us a deep run in the playoffs. And if we can overcome somebody like the Eagles and the Cowboys in the playoffs and we get in the Super Bowl, I think we can beat anybody in the AFC. So that's how
Oh,
I
I
put
hope
it.
it's Kadarius Toney and them damn Chiefs. Oh, I hope it's Kadarius Phony and Jarius Pony, aka
Man, he
Little
might not even be playing, man. That dude having a surgery already, man. That dude.
Yeah. By the way, Miz was totally right on that, man. Shout out to Miz, man. That dude is a bum. He's a bum. But Miz, man.
You know what's funny? I said I wasn't too high on the pick when we drafted him. Pat remembers because we called the draft together, and I was like, never trust a man with a bull ring in his nose. I'm just saying.
What's sad though is he could actually be dynamic as shit, bro. Like he could be one of the most dynamic players in the NFL with his talent. Because when he gets the ball in his hands, I don't think there's anybody in the NFL that's more dynamic when he gets the ball in his hands.
Don't trust
I'm glad he was on this team for a short period of time. Because without him, we don't get Waller.
Yep.
True.
Listen.
Good point.
Don't trust a man who wears hair gel. Never trust a man who has a bull ring piercing. Those are just two keys to live by. That's all I'm saying.
What's your thoughts on the Giants, Miz, man? Are we real contenders in the NFC? Or are we pretenders?
I don't think the Giants are pretenders. I think, man.
Say it. 11-6.
I like what
man.
I see there. The Giants look good, man. The Giants look like a really solid team. They look like they got some real talent now, not us just throwing smoke in the air like we did the last 3 years. Like this team really has some real players.
Smoke.
Right
We would have went 11-6 last year if it wasn't for your damn tie.
No, but what I'm saying is they got some real. They're gonna have an offense this year. I mean, a lot of guys impress me, but the man who's impressing me the most is Daniel Jones. And because right now Daniel Jones looks like a different Daniel Jones. He's got this look in his eyes. He's got this accurate, decisive throw. He looks like he's in command of the entire team. He's a different man. He looks like a 8 or a 10-year vet right now. And that's great because that's what we've been waiting for. So now we're going to, and like I was telling Pat, dude, I hope he hears everything, man. I hope he hears everything because he could use that shit as fuel big time this year, man. All the haters and all the bullshit that's spoken about him. Like a guy like Bell that has nothing to do with us at all has to open up his mouth. I want Jones to hear that shit. You know what I mean? And what do I think about the season? It's really hard, man. I think the Giants are a playoff team. Are the Giants the Super Bowl team? I think we're like a year away. But I do think the Giants can make a lot of trouble in the NFC, like make some noise. And another thing is I kind of agree with Coach and some other guys. I think that people are so high on the Eagles, and the Eagles almost think like it's given to them. And those type of teams end up not living up. You know what I mean? It's very hard for you to go back to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row. They were relatively healthy all year last year. I don't know if that's going to happen this year. And it's almost like everybody's just putting them there. And that's never a good thing because you lose your fire, your hunger when you think that you're entitled to something without working hard for it. So I like that the Giants are going to bust their ass. You could tell they got the type of players that are hungry and they're going to work really, really hard. You're seeing it in camp alone. And I feel like, I can't pick us to go to the Super Bowl because I think the Niners are a beast of a team. And and Pat's gonna kill me right here. But once again, I just feel like the Cowboys are gonna be a good football team in the NFC. But I mean, the NFC is like, yo, it's so hard to pick a team to go to the Super Bowl. The NFC is wide open. So if the Giants get going late in the year and they get in there and do what we've seen them do many years ago, just get in and get on a run, it could happen. But right now, I'm not even picking a Super Bowl team in the NFC. If I did, it would be the 49ers because they've been knocking on the door for like 3-4 years. And maybe it's their time. But one thing I don't like about the Niners is that they're very unstable at quarterback right now.
Trey Lance, y'all see that?
Trey Lance is awful.
Trey Lance, it's Sam Darnold, it's Purdy. It's got like a 3-quarterback rotation. To me, that's never a good thing. And that's the one thing that makes me hesitant about them. Seattle has a real damn good team, but I'm not a believer in Geno Smith. I don't think he's taking you to a Super Bowl. So, we'll see what happens. But Daniel Jones looks, man, I'm so confident, more confident than I've been in him in the last 4 years. There's times when I was angry at him and I criticized him, but I mean, he looks like the franchise quarterback. And one other team I'm gonna pick that I think is gonna be really, really good, and that's the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the Lions,
that Cowboys thing. The way they're gonna be good is if that defense balls out this year, and I hate to say it, man, that defense is legit, boy. If that damn Parsons and that DeMarcus Lawrence play, those linebackers are able to.
What's good?
What's going on, Tommy? Those linebackers are able to flow and do what they want to do. If Hankins and that draft pick, Mozzie Smith, can do what they're supposed to do in the middle, they got a damn good defense, man. And it's fast and they're strong. So if that defense can hold it down and overcome Dak's turnovers, because he's going to throw some picks this year, I think Dak only got about 2 more years left in him, bro. It's something about Dak, man. I just don't like, man. I've never liked Dak as a quarterback. I've always thought it was that damn team around him that made him like that. Because shit, they cussing his ass out in training camp.
Yeah, they said he might lead the league in interceptions again this year.
Yeah, but who's this little bowling ball of a running back that they drafted?
Deuce Vaughn.
So I'm looking at that right there, but their O-line is still pretty solid. It may not be the best in the league, but it's pretty solid. I believe they'll get Martin back in there. And between him and Pollard, I mean, it could be a nice 1-2 punch.
Yeah, it could be. He's that little scat back type, like Derek Sproles. It's hard to see his ass until he's right up on you.
Where's
the
inside power game? Where's the short yardage game with them? I'm sorry.
I think they're gonna sign back.
Yep.
And that's if Zeke goes back, then fine. I agree with you. I just say if Zeke goes somewhere else, Dallas is going to regret, or they're going to miss him. Not regret, but they're going to miss him because he's that one. People complained, oh, he's only getting 2-3 yards, but that's what you need sometimes. That's called inside. And his blitz pickup is one of the best that I've ever seen.
Yep.
So it's. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say he don't get credit for that, coach. That is right, man. His blitz pickup is nice.
Yeah. So it's again, Dallas is, and anyone who knows me knows how much I don't like Dallas. So for me to say this is, it's a lot. So number one, they need Martin back. If they don't get Martin back, to me, it puts a major crack in the wall. So yes, you can talk about CeeDee Lamb and Cooks on the outside and whatever, but if your running game, and I'm not saying Pollard can't run inside, but he's not a bell cow. So he's also highly injury prone. So if you're relying on him, what does the rest of your running back room look like? So, and once you make a team one dimensional, and literally, if we can take away the run game, you're putting the ball right into Dak's hand, which is what you want. You want him throwing the ball 40 to 45 times a game because you're going to have opportune times to create some takeaways.
Now the thing is with us, coach.
I mean, we won. What, Pat?
No, I was just saying the thing is with us is can our pass rush cause havoc this year? And what I mean by that is not Dexter Lawrence getting 44 pressures up the middle by himself again this year. Can Ojulari keep his damn ass healthy on that field? Because if that dude is healthy, I think that dude can average a sack a game at least. And if he's being a monster like that a game and Thibodeau is coming into his own and you have to worry about him too. And then if Leo is healthy, you have to worry about him because man, he made Glowinski look stupid. And Dexter Lawrence is still getting his pressures from the inside. And I think Dexter Lawrence is gonna have another all pro year. Wherever that shit pissing me off. How the hell do you have that monster and you don't know where to put him at? That's stupid. I didn't know Dexter Lawrence was that fucking strong, bro. Like that dude's a bull.
What's good,
Like that.
Raphael? Salute.
What's going on, El Capitan? It's like that's unfair. I mean, man, and Schmitz ain't no weak dude, and he was just bullying him. I'm like, shit. What type of strength does he have? And if he's doing that, and if he's doing that all season again, if we can be healthy and let our linebackers flow with Bobby O and Beavers, you have a problem on your hands. Because if you want to play that quick game with Wink's defense, long as they tackle, we getting off the field this year. Long as they tackle, we getting off the field this year. If we have a low tackle percentage, that offense is going to be on the field a lot this year. And look out, because we might put 30 on your ass. And then it's really going to be tough to beat it.
Let me let Alex chime in real quick. So we can get everybody's comment. Where you think the Giants rank in the NFC, Alex? What's your thoughts about this team and what they can do this season? I know it's still early, but just so far what you've seen in camp, given the improvements we made and coming off last season, where you think the Giants can go?
So to quickly tail off of Pat's comments, not that this O-line that we faced was like the greatest, not that they were the worst either, but we put up 5 sacks against Washington last year when they came to our house and we tied them. We got Kirk Cousins a couple of times the first time we played them. So I think it's a big X factor if Azeez can stay healthy, because to be honest with you, there's not really like any good depth behind them. They didn't really draft any of the guys within the first 4 or 5 rounds. Obviously, there's an undrafted free agent. There's Tamon Fox, Zimenez, but they can't do the job that obviously Azeez. And you don't want to leave Thibodeau on a complete island. However, to get back to the central point, I don't think there's really a way other than the schedule being hard that the Giants can regress. I don't see it happening. I just don't know where. It'd be really hard to imagine, because you got an improved run defense with solid depth at the D-line position. You got Beavers and Okereke basically up the middle, and then you got Jason Pinnock obviously at the other safety position. I just don't see how this team could regress now. I will take the Eagles over the Giants just in general. I think the Cowboys could be on the Giants level. I think they'll be at least 10-11 wins, the Cowboys, this season. I think if the Giants lose week 1, that'll be it in terms of not beating Dallas, because I don't think we'll beat them when we're on that 3-game stretch. However, you could make the case, kind of be like, 2007, where we lost to them both times. If we find them in the playoffs, I think they're extremely vulnerable. That's shown the last 2 years, especially against San Francisco. As I said, Eagles in front of us. The 49ers, I definitely think they're in front of us. I think it'll be close week 3, but it's definitely helping them that Brock Purdy is back. So there's that. I think Minnesota will be good, but I don't think they'll be scary in the playoffs. I think Detroit will take the next step. I don't think they'll be legitimately scary in the playoffs. I think that comes with an experience. Maybe last year, if they got in with the whole Seattle thing, I think they probably, maybe I could say something different. But again, I just think, maybe they'll slip into the playoffs. As far as Seattle goes, I think Seattle's on our level. I think they're coming to us on Monday Night Football this year. I just think that team with Geno has a ceiling. JSN is a great draft pick of theirs, adding to the weapons on offense. But again, I just don't see like how much can they go up. So and as someone said, the South is complete garbage. So it's not like you got to worry too much about them, however it may go. But I would say the Giants are maybe top 3, top 4 in the NFC right now.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
And I agree, man. I think that this team has a chance to get to the NFC Championship game. I think, and here's what I say. When I look at the quarterbacks and I look at the overall teams, I think if you get a guy like Daniel Jones in the playoffs, I kind of feel like that guy has a little bit of a clutch gene to him. And I do think that if we get in the playoffs and Daniel Jones, he gets hot, which he was heating up last year till we ran into Philly, but different team, different year. So I do think that if we get in there and we get the right matchups, it could be where we face a Philly or a San Francisco for the NFC Championship. I do think the Giants are better than Seattle. I think they're better than Detroit. I think they're better than Minnesota. I think they're better than Dallas. But that game can go either way. We already know how that works. That's a division game. I think we're better than Washington. So, yeah, I think we're right there. Philly, maybe San Francisco. But then there's the Giants. I really feel like that this team is right there with the rest of them, man. And say what you want about our quarterback, man, but I'm taking him over Brock Purdy. I'm taking him over Jared Goff. I'm taking him over Dak Prescott, over Jalen Hurts. I mean, so say what you want. You know what I mean? So I think we have the better quarterback. And I think, as long as our defense can hold up and not get, destroyed in the run game, we'll have a solid defense. And, we'll see what the offense is. We have high expectations for the offense. So, if the offense is top 10 and your defense is average, I think we did. Go ahead, Pat. I think you're trying to chime back in.
Let me tell you something about this team in general this year, especially when we play the Eagles. If we build a lead on the Eagles, all that shit from last year is over with. Because the only thing, I'm not gonna say I worried about it, but the only thing I think about with the Eagles is if we let those bastards build a 10 to 14 point lead on us again. And then that shit will start setting in. Fuck, we losing to these guys again. But if we come out, let's just say we come out in that game, we score a touchdown, and then the defense gets them off the field. And let's say we go and pull some more points, like a field goal or another touchdown. I think our confidence will go through the roof because now we know we can play with these boys. Because last year, both games, they proved us that we couldn't play with them. But this is a different team. And if that different team goes out there and puts up points on the Eagles from the jump, I think the confidence of that team will be so high that it will be like hell for the Eagles to come back and beat us. Make it a good game. Even if we lose, make it like 28-24 or 27-23, something like that. I think the confidence of this team will go up because now we know we can play with the best team in the NFC, which everybody is calling them. And when it comes to playoff time, I think Daniel Jones does have that clutch gene. He just didn't have the roster around him last year. Right. But if that offensive line
Fourth
blocks
quarter
him,
comebacks, that says something. 5 fourth quarter comebacks definitely says something.
yeah, he has something about him, man. If he has some people around him, just like Eli. When they finally put people around Eli made it happen. It wasn't just him and Tiki Barber. When they brought when they brought Plexico Burris and all those guys around, and Amani Toomer with his craftiness coming up with that damn catch we need when we absolutely need it, he makes that catch for us. Yeah, it was a problem. And then Victor Cruz came along and revitalized us because now we had somebody that you had to fear. I think Waller brings that for Daniel Jones. And if those receivers play up to their capability this year, we might be able to do something this year. But let's just say we fall short and then we get a receiver or somebody next year. If that was the case, that you had to fear to pair with Waller, to pair with Barkley, it's going to be a problem. But those games against the 49ers, the Cowboys, and the Eagles, not the Cowboys necessarily, because we played them real well last year, even though our roster was trash. So I expect us to get the Cowboys at least once, if not twice. But the Eagles, we put points on them boys first, and we start making them boys think, it's going to be a whole different ball game this year. But we cannot fall behind 14 points again, 17 points again to the Eagles, because that shit going to start creeping in that, damn, we just can't play with these dudes. So you don't want that to creep in your mind.
Yeah, I agree, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we have to set the tone, man, with this. The Giants have to set the tone in their division. You have to compete in your division. I mean, you can't,
Yep.
Win one game, you know what I'm saying, in your division every year, or 2 games against Washington in your division every year and expect to be taken seriously, man, when it comes to some of these upper echelon teams. You know what I'm saying? Now, I think with our improvements, we will match up a lot better with Philly this year. You know what I'm saying? And definitely with Dallas. So you have the roster to compete. And I agree with you. Last year, we just didn't have the horses. You know what I'm saying? This year, we have the roster to compete with them. So it's going to be up to to coaching and the entire team, actually, you know what I'm saying, to go out there and improve. Hey, look, we can beat Philly. We can beat Dallas. We can beat the 49ers or the Seahawks. It's strange. We're playing all the teams pretty much we're competing against this year, for a playoff spot. I think outside of Minnesota, maybe in Detroit. But everybody else we're playing.
And another thing, NYG coach Lou Miz, Alex too, Evan Neal has to step up his game. And I hate to put that much pressure on him in his second year, but when we step on that field, if Evan Neal is blocking his ass off to where he's not a liability, that's going to change the mindset of a lot of defenses too. Because now you know that you just can't attack Evan Neal and do whatever the fuck you want to do to us in the backfield towards our quarterback.
Crazy? You know what I think the very first play is going to be for the Giants offense? A Saquon Barkley run behind Evan Neal. Just to clear up all the doubts. His run
defense, his running game.
Play.
Yeah, his run
to the right side behind Evan Neal, and I'm gonna tell Evan Neal, whoever the hell you block his ass till you flip his ass over, till you roll over his ass, till he monkey flips you off him. Run his ass into the damn turf, so they can stop talking about you. And I'm not talking shit to you, Pat. I'm just saying, if I was the coach, that's what I would be telling Evan Neal. Our first play is going to be a run to your side, and I want you to pancake everybody in front of you.
If he starts blocking correctly and they can't just use that speed rush to get straight to the quarterback, that's going to open up the screen game. Because you so worried about beating Evan Neal like you used to beat him, and you're going to use that speed rush to just pin your ears back to where, okay, he's going to slap you on the back of your head, throw that screen to Saquon Barkley or Waller or whoever it is, and we're going to get about 30 yards. I'm telling you, Evan Neal is the key, man. If Evan Neal blocks, you're gonna have a problem on your hands.
Go ahead, Alex.
You know what I think the New York Giants, really any video editor in that department, I think that what they need to do is combine every single rep that DeMarcus Lawrence dominated Evan Neal last year. Just have not even study the film. Just have Evan Neal look at it for a certain amount of hours, build up that aggression, and use it against him week 1. That's my opinion.
Because Lawrence embarrassed Evan Neal that game. And I mean absolutely embarrassed. That first game, that was ridiculous. The second game was bad too, but that first game we played Dallas last year, Evan Neal looked like a undrafted free agent playing football for the first time.
That was bad. That was bad, man. I think though, man, like you said, Alex, man, he needs to get confidence. He needs to get that confidence against, Lawrence. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, come out the gate, man. Do what you need to do, man, and stop Lawrence. If you can stop Lawrence from the Cowboys, his confidence will go up, man. I think we'll be good for the rest of the season, man. That first game is going to be his biggest test, man, because that's the game that got you embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? You should be so motivated to do well against Dallas and not look like you did last season. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't have that. If he goes out there and he's looking like a turnstile again, I mean, here we go.
Yeah, and I wanted to make it the way they put Parsons on his side.
Because ain't nobody in the back behind him that's going to do any better. Tyree Phillips, no.
And I want them to put Parsons on his side and switch Lawrence on Andrew Thomas. Reason why? Because I believe Andrew Thomas is going to dominate Parsons this year for that shit that he was talking about Andrew Thomas when he was sick and he got that little stuff against him when he was sick because he didn't do shit to him the first game when he was healthy and he wasn't sick. But the second game he started talking shit. So I wanted to where Andrew Thomas is dominating Parsons and Evan Neal is forcing DeMarcus Lawrence to really play ball out there. He ain't doing nothing. So I want them to be like, well, let's switch Parsons over there to Evan Neal's side. And Lawrence, you do the best you can against Andrew Thomas, which ain't going to be shit. Because if he can handle Parsons, he can handle Lawrence easily. And Evan Neal plays it to where he might get beat maybe once because Parsons is that good. But he make it to where Daniel Jones just has to step up. And he's pushing them past Daniel Jones, letting them step up in the pocket. And if he don't see anything, he can get out the pocket now and really do some damage because now you just can't spy Daniel Jones with somebody and just be like, yeah, just zone because these receivers can't do anything to us. Now you got a problem on your hands because now Daniel Jones got time to step up in the pocket and he got 4 weapons out there with speed. And you got your best corner who's a dude that gambles all the fucking time. I can't wait to see Hyatt go up against him and hit him with a double move.
Oh, man.
But you give up a lot of yards, bro. And it's only because that fucking defensive line gets back there so quick the reason why you so fucking good. Because if he was on the island like Revis or somebody, he would get torched. But since he only has to guard for so long, for such a little time, he can guess like that and get interceptions. Because he is an athletic freak. I'll give him that. And he can go up there and he can guess on slant routes and he can guess on the out route real quick because the ball has to come out or the quarterback's going to get killed. But we block and force that nigga to play DB for the right amount of time. We gonna get yardage on him and those other corners. Man, Evan Neal's the key, man. I'm telling you. That dude blocked this year, you're gonna see a whole new Daniel Jones. Because I'm not worried about Schmitz because I seen the reps against Dex. That was just pure power. And nobody in our division, as good as those defensive tackles are, they don't have the power of Dexter Lawrence. I ain't seen power in a defensive tackle like that in a long time, bro. A long ass time. That I don't know what that dude lift, but it has to be close to 5.
Yeah, man.
That's a beast,
Shout out
man.
to
That's
Miz, 'cause he proved me wrong on that. I thought Dexter Lawrence was like just another old average dude, but they weren't playing him in the right fucking position. And Miz said that. She said, "Man, put Dex where he's supposed to be and watch what happens." And he was right, all fucking pro. That is ridiculous strength, bro. And he was making Leonard Williams look weak when they was pulling those damn weights. He was pulling the shit out them damn weights, and Leonard Williams was behind him. And I said, Leonard ain't no weak dude, because he be punishing people too. I'm like, good grief. How much strength does somebody have?
He's a beast. Even Aaron Rodgers said it last year. Said the league better start paying attention to 97 after he beat him up in that game in London.
Yep.
Yeah,
For me, it's
I'm
like
doing-
this, man. Week 1, man. Listen, we haven't beaten Dallas in like 4 or 5 years, bro. It's a fucking joke. Okay? Week 1, the Giants can set the tone for the whole season. The game's at home. It's on Sunday night, nationally televised. It's America's team. And you know what? It's right for the cooking, bro. We're due to beat them. And this Giants team, I think, is put together well with real good coaching. And if the Giants just, I think we're winning that game. I think we have to win that game. We have to win that game because if we don't win that game, I can't tell you we're going to Dallas and beating them. So now we lost to them twice again. So you have to win that game. If you win that game, you set the tone for the whole season. The New York Giants are not those Giants. You know, a lot of people in the country don't believe in us after last year. They thought it was dumb luck, easy schedule, all that bullshit. But you could change everything, and forget about what everyone else thinks. You set the tone for the season. If you want to go real far this year, beat Dallas at home Sunday night in your home building, and it's going to be your stadium rocking. You got to win that game. I don't want to hear shit. You can't lose that game. You just can't.
Yeah, because we got the 49ers 2 weeks after that. So if we could come out the first weeks 3-0, yeah, we're gonna be a problem.
We
Because
coming out the first half 7-1.
we do that this year like we did last year, come out the first 8 games 7-1. I'll say we're Super Bowl contenders then. Because we got some heavy hitters on the schedule in that first half of the season. And our schedule,
None of them.
they got us on the road like 8 weeks in a row or something like that. That shit crazy.
Super Bowl like that. Road Warriors.
Yo, honestly though, I got to ask you guys asking a lot. 7-1. I mean, just because we did that last year, I don't think it's happening.
Stop playing with me, man.
You don't gotta be 7-1 to go to the Super Bowl, man. We've been 9-7 in
You make your ass a believer, sir.
You know I'm keeping it real, man. You guys are 7-1. You guys are wishing for rainbows and chocolate bars. So 7-1, get out of here.
You big blue.
Notice I said if. I didn't say we will. I said if we do. Because I think that 49ers man could go either way. Because that quarterback position is like you're gonna see if Purdy really is that dude, or they were just on that 49ers high in the beginning of the season. Normally the 49ers are trash in the beginning of the season. They always like 2-5 or something, and then wind up 11-6.
I gotta
like that.
Real quick, but shoot me a text when you end it so we can have our conference.
Yeah, I'm about to end it in a minute, man, because I gotta work, man. We're not gonna do the 5-hour stream shit no more. Yeah,
I gotta work.
You know what I'm saying? I just like for everybody, you know what I'm saying?
But I need y'all to
get their
stay on
opinions
after
off.
he ends it. Because we're about to work out the logistics of the 29th. So
And definitely, man, Big Blue Crew Block Party, October 29th, MetLife Stadium, Jets, Giants, you know what I'm saying? Be there, be square, you know what I'm saying? We all gonna be in the building.
Jets and Giants, the 29th. Sorry, I want you to. That's the day we tie again. I'm just throwing a prediction out there.
yo, son, don't.
We ain't doing that, son. Nah, no ties here, man. We're gonna beat the damn Jets.
Because we probably
I predicted a tie last year, so you're not gonna go bet. You better go bet on me right now for next year. I'm telling you, there's gonna be a tie, Jets and Giants. I'm joking.
Yo, listen, it's gonna be catered by Chef G's Elegant Flames. Okay, so we're gonna have food out there. Big Blue Crew. We're gonna be out there in full force, man. We're gonna have all types of content for you. I'm trying to see if I can get somebody. Well, I'll keep that secret. But we got big plans, man. It's gonna be a great night. Come out, support the cause, man. Make sure you subscribe to all of these content creators, man. And NYG, this is your show, so you do your thing. I'm gonna be quiet.
Most definitely, man. But like I said, we're gonna end it on that note. Because we got other things to do, other things to talk about. But I do want to thank all y'all for coming on tonight. You know what I'm saying? And definitely go sub to everybody on the panel. Everybody's links is in the description of the video. So just go to the description, man. Hit the link for Miz, for Alex, for Lou, for Coach, for Pat. You know what I'm saying? And go check out the whole Big Blue crew, man. But
I can't wait to drink a beer with y'all and chop it up in real life, face to face.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely, man. I've had a pleasure to meet, some of you guys,
Oh, yeah. We already did it at the
Alex.
But
Yeah,
Miz,
Alex too,
Coach,
yeah, so
yeah.
Can't wait to meet Coach. Can't wait to meet Miz, man. I know we're gonna have a fucking damn good time. But most definitely, man. But I'm gonna leave you with the commercial to sponsor the show. Then we're going to check it out with the Big Blue Crew outro, man. So thank everybody for coming in, man. And till next time, y'all. Peace.
Shadow Worlds Radio, a radio media outlet. The Read and Attack Show, Coach Ed's Amazing World of Sports. Go Travels, the go-to for all your sporting events. Wise Consulting Solutions, the wise choice for a better future. The Big Blue Crew, the best damn sports network on YouTube.
This is a Big Blue Crew production.